Welcome to Scratch video number 2. In this video, we are going to cover the libraries for the background in Scratch, for the sprites in Scratch. We're going to explore what the backpack does, and maybe even program another character. But before we do that, I would like to remind you, you must be signed in to your account before you continue to work, or none of your work will save, and you won't even see the work that you have done before. I'll show you how to do that momentarily. Also, you need to do these skills along with me in your own account as you're watching the video. So you need to pause, rewind as you need to in order to do the exact same thing I am doing with your own work. And you can create your own characters in your own game and your own background. That's fine, but your code is pretty much going to be the same as mine. So make sure that you're using the YouTube video as a teaching tool. That's what we're doing here. If one block is off in your programming code, your whole game won't work. So if that happens, just pause it and rewind and make sure you have what I have in my game. All right, so I'm going to minimize myself a little bit and we're going to get started. All right, so first thing is I'm in Scratch, scratch.mit.edu. You may be signed in already from last time, but I'm not sure. I'm going to push sign in, and I'm hoping that your information, your username and password is right there for you, like it is for me. If not, then you're going to need to review the attached from last post, which was this. This was what your username and password is. So I'm not going to go over that because I already posted that. So I'm already here. I'm going to sign in. Okay, come on, baby. My computer is running a little slow today for some reason. Maybe it's my internet connection. Hopefully that gets better here quickly. I'm going to pause until that happens. Okay, I was able to sign in, and this is what it should look like. You want to make sure that your username appears right here in the upper corner. Very important. All right, in this view, this folder next to your username, this is where all of your projects are. So it's called My Stuff. I'm going to click that, and it should show the game that we started together last time. It's entitled Game. That's what I told you to do. And click See Inside, and that'll show you the view that we were working in with the code, the game view, and the blocks. Okay. So I'm going to enlarge the code. So far, we have this cat sprite, which is a character sprite, and we programmed him to be automated, to move and bounce off the edges. And it seems to be working just fine. So that's good. One thing I want to bring to your attention is every once in a while, look up to the upper right corner. It says Save Now in white. If you see that, every 5-10 minutes or so, click it just to be safe. There have been times in the past where students have worked all period and they come to the end and it won't save, and that will fix that, because it would stink if you worked for a half an hour and all your stuff is gone. That does happen sometimes. So keep your eye up there for that. So it's gone, and if it's not there, it means it's saved automatically. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the background, or they call it the stage here in Scratch. And let me tell you what the end game of this project is. I'm going to open up another tab of Scratch in my own account. This is an old game I made last year. No, this year sometime. So it's just a target game. So you pick a theme, backdrops, and characters that kind of relate to each other. So as we progress, you can pick whatever characters or backgrounds you want, it's no problem. The code will fit them, no problem. So this is, I have this little like alien blob guy. Okay, he's my main character. These down here are my targets, and they're automated. I ended up duplicating them. And see that guy, I'm controlling him with my arrow keys on my keyboard. And you can assign any keys to do that. And then when I push a trigger, he's going to eliminate those. And then it switches backdrops. I bring in some other characters to eliminate for round 2. And we put some sound in there. And then that's it. Game over. That's our goal. It seems simple, and it is, but there's a lot to it. All right, so that's our goal. Keep that in mind, and you can pick any theme you want. It can be space related, anything. So what I'd like to do now is maybe pick a background or two that we can use. Right now, the stage is just white. Click, you see where it says stage over here, where my mouse is? If you go down to the bottom, it's very important you go to stage. This opens up, and go to the magnifying glass. It says choose a backdrop. When you click that, it opens up this vast library of backdrops that you can use. And there's some really good ones, and they update them a lot. So they have categories. If you want to browse through these and see what you want to do, and kind of pick a theme, and there'll be characters that'll match these as well. So I think I am going to go with some kind of like woods or something like that. So what I'm gonna do is, you can either click it once. Oh, that's all it took. And then you can see it populated in there. You can go in there and get a couple that relate if you want at this point. We're going to need 3 total when this is all said and done. But kind of pick them so that kind of makes sense. So I'm not going to go underwater. Woods is kind of creepy. I'm going to go with maybe this castle too also. So it replaces the last one you did, but you can move those around if you want to. So I think I'll stop with just 2 for now, and we can add others at any time. It's no problem. So what you want to do is pause and then go in to this area here to backdrops and choose a couple. So go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm going to continue. So if you click on stage right here, the word stage, this allows you to put some code on the stage. So you click stage right here, then go over to where it says backdrops up here. Now we have the backdrops that I loaded. So all you really need to do is, what we want to do here, if you have 2 of them in, is I want to rename them. So these are going to switch eventually when we reach our level 1. So instead of woods, I'm going to rename woods 1, because that's going to be my first backdrop. This is just easier. So I'm up here where it says costume right here, and I changed it to 1. I know I want to go to this one, Castle 2, next. So I'm going to name that 2. And trust me, after doing this a long time, this is the easiest way, because you will end up seeing these numbers in blocks later on. This backdrop 1, which is nothing, I'm going to trash that. There's a trash can right here. All right. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so I am good to go. I'm going to put it on 1. And this time, let's go and push code over here. And let's click on our sprite, this cat again. That's going to take us into the sprite area. There's the stage area and the sprite area. So let's get back into the sprite area. All right, here's what we're going to do. If the cat is not a character you really want for this target game, we can replace it. And we can still use the code we already put on it by using the backpack. So let's, first of all, click the word backpack down here at the bottom. If you're not seeing it, make sure you scroll down on your screen until you see the word backpack. When you click that, it opens. Now my backpack is empty, and yours should be too, I think. Sometimes you have to keep cleaning it out. What you do is you can shove some of this code in there, and it'll save it for you. And instead of having to drag each block in, you can just go to your backpack and shove it into the next character. And so that's what I'm going to do to save this code right now. Take it from the top where it says when flag is clicked. Take your mouse, hold it, go straight down. Do not go over here. If I let go right now, it deletes and I can't usually get it back. So go right here and go straight down. And when it lights up blue down there, boom, let go. And you'll see a little mini version of it appear there in the backpack. So now that is saved, nice and safe. So if we need it later, which we probably will, we'll have it there for us. So I'm going to close the backpack by pushing the word backpack. Okay, now at this point, I know I'm not going to use the cat. Now what we're dealing with here is the target in our game. So if I go back to this game here, the target for this first level are these buses. That's what I'm trying to eliminate and I get points for. We're going to find a character maybe to replace the cat. That'll be our first level target. So here's what we do. We're clicked on the cat, but this time go to this menu and it pops up like we did before with the backdrops. It says choose a sprite. Click the magnifying glass again, so see how that goes. And we're going to pick something that will be our target, and we'll end up duplicating this later. It could be something that flies. It could be something that's on the ground. It doesn't have to be a human. It doesn't have to be an animal. It could be whatever, but this is going to be our target exactly. Let me get my face out of the way here. So let me show you something real quick. If I put my mouse and don't click down, you can see that some of these have many costumes, which means many versions to show movement and motion, which is cool. So I already kind of know what I want for this particular level. I want a bat right here. And some of these characters, like this Anina dance, has a ton of costumes in it. And you can eliminate some of them so she doesn't go through all that. If you end up using that one block that says next costume, you can eliminate that. But there's all kinds of cool stuff. But so explore these different categories. Take your time and explore it. And then when you're happy with one, then remember, this is your target. You go ahead and click it, and it'll enter into your game. So I am going to use the bat. I'm going to click it, and there it is inside of my game. So take a couple seconds and pause this video and go in and get another character that will be your target. Okay? All right. So I'm assuming you've done that. I'm going to look up here again. It says save now. I'm going to do that just to be sure that I'm saved. Okay, good. All right, so right now I've got my bat. Now we are going to end up having several targets. So the first thing I'm going to do, remember in a backpack, I'm going to click on my bat right here. I'm going to click the word backpack again. And here is that code that we saved in the backpack. I'm going to bring it up and shove it up here. Let go. And now my bat will do what my cat was doing. But here's the thing, something I mentioned last time, but it's easy to forget to do. Every time you bring in a new character or sprite, it's important that you go to the word direction right here and click this left, right, center button, because if I don't, when it hits the edge and flips around, it's going to turn upside down. So I'm going to click that. Okay, now let's test drive it and make sure the bat does it before I get rid of the cat. Yes, he is moving. Cool. All right, if that's working, and again, if I'm going fast, just pause me and go in and do what you have to do. Now I know my bat's fine. Now I'm going to click on this cat because I don't want the cat anymore for sure. Everything's working great. I'm just going to click the trash can and get rid of them. Now the size of the bat is probably too big because I'm going to have maybe 8 to 10 of them eventually. So you go to the word size here and change that number to a, like, I don't know, let me try 65. See, okay, that's smaller. That'll probably be pretty good. I could probably fit 8 to 10. Maybe I'll go to 55 instead. Don't go duplicating these yet. There we go. That's cool. Now, if you forget how to make the character bigger, I'll remind you. You go to the move steps block right here, and you can increase that number. So if I make that 30, we'll go faster. It's pretty cool. All right, so we can change those speeds later. So for now, I think we're good with the character. I'm going to click Save Now. All right, I think we're going to do one more thing here for this session, and that is going to be bring in your main character that you will control, and this character will be dropping or throwing something at this target. So let me refer back to my old game. We're going to bring in this thing that I'm moving, this ghosty thing, blob. I'm controlling that again with my arrow keys. So we're going to bring that in. We won't duplicate this guy. He'll be in the whole game for us. And this could be something that flies, be on the ground, whatever. Like if I'm looking at my bats are going to be, flying upwards. So I need something that will throw something at the bat. So I'm going to go down here where it says choose a sprite like before. We're going to end up putting different code on this guy or girl or whatever. Click the magnifying glass to choose a sprite. And maybe look around at what character this character will end up throwing some kind of projectile upward or dropping a projectile down. We're not going to do that today, but you need to find something that kind of fits. Let's see what's in fantasy for me. Well, Frank. Oh, I like Frank. Frank jumps up and down though. I don't know. Oh, there's a fairy. That's kind of cool. Elf. I think I'm going to use the elf. Actually, wait, what's this goblin? I like the goblin too. That'll work. All right, we'll explore these and find something that you think will fit your game. And remember, this character will be in the entire game. So there's my goblin. I'm going to shrink it up to maybe, I don't know, 60, 70. The last thing I want to do is click the word direction and click this arrow again, the left right arrow. Boom. All right, so it doesn't do anything yet because we haven't programmed it yet, but I think that's good for this session. So in the next session, we will program our main character. We will probably save it a certain way, and you're going to send it to me so I can see what your progress is, and I'll give a short grade for that. And then after that, we'll probably do some programming on that character. In fact, we will. So until next time, check for the next video, and I'll talk to you later.